Welcome back. All right, today we are going to be talking about breathing for belly health. Now, this is so important because you are breathing all day, every day. The way that you breathe can either reinforce the strength that you're creating in your core, or it can work against you. So I want to talk about the way I want you to breathe, and then I'll talk about why and why we don't do the typical yoga belly breath. Okay, so the breath we are going for is a 360-degree expansion of the rib cage. So this means that when we are inhaling, we are going to be inflating into the left and right of the rib cage, as well as the front of the ribs and the back of the ribs. We want to try and get even expansion through the front, sides, and back. When we are able to get that full expansion, we are able to really use the full diaphragm. What will happen, what you'll feel in your body is that your belly, which will hopefully be pretty relaxed, and your pelvic floor, which will also hopefully be pretty relaxed, they're going to expand some, but not insane amounts, okay? So expanding the breath primarily into the ribs will create expansion in the belly and a dropping down of the pelvic floor. That's good. That's what we want. Very often in postpartum women, what we see is that the diaphragm is not working fully. So we don't get this 360-degree expansion of the ribs. Usually what we end up getting is a lot of expansion in the front, maybe not even that much in the ribs, but a lot of expansion in the front of the belly and a lot of lifting up and down of the shoulders. We want the shoulders to stay pretty steady, and we want the belly to expand, but not to take the brunt of it. So we're going to get that 360-degree expansion on the inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to exhale from the bottom up. So it's like the pelvic floor lifts, the core engages, and we're like pushing the air up from the bottom. It's hard to feel when you're sitting up, when you're not used to it. We're going to feel it when we practice it in just a moment. So before we practice it, just a quick note that this is not typical yoga breathing. Yoga usually talks about belly breathing, and honestly, belly breathing is not going to help you with the goal that you have of healing your core. Typical belly breathing is when we breathe into the belly first, the chest next, and then the rib cage last. So we inflate from the bottom up. What usually ends up happening is that all of the work is coming into the belly and there's very little expansion in the ribs. On the exhale in yoga belly breathing, we exhale from the top down. So we've inflated from the bottom up, and then we exhale chest, ribs, and the core is last. Well, if you think about pressure in the body, what we've basically done then is filled the belly with a whole lot of pressure, and then we are exhaling and squashing that pressure downward. So if you have any pelvic floor stuff going on, pushing that pressure down is going to encourage prolapse and incontinence and all those pelvic floor things that we're working to avoid. So we are not using that method. Our method is really working on getting the diaphragm working fully. 360-degree rib expansion. The belly will fill, the pelvic floor will relax, but it's not all in the belly and the pelvic floor. It's mostly in the ribs. And then on the exhale, we exhale from the bottom up. And what that is going to do is naturally engage the pelvic floor and the core. So let's practice this. I want you to come and lay on your side. If you have a block, you can take a block in between your legs. If you're uncomfortable at all laying down with your head, you can put a towel under your head. Now put your hands on your rib cage. So the fingers are forward, the thumb is in the back. And when you inhale, I want you to really feel that you are spreading into the hand. The ribs are expanding sideways and left and right. So breathing in through the nose Now as you exhale, imagine zipping up from the bottom. Core, lower core, pelvic floor. Moving up to the middle abdomen and then up to the upper abdomen and then emptying the ribs. So again, inhale. Exhale, lower abdomen, middle, upper, chest. Again, inhale. Exhale from the bottom up. And feel free to use that audible sound if it helps you. Now, one other test. I want you to take your fingers and take them right under your rib cage. When you breathe in, you should feel that that breath is literally pushing into your hands. We don't want to feel like the fingers are getting sucked in under the rib cage on the inhale. We want them to be being pressed away. So hands under the rib cage. Again, inhale. Exhale, bottom to top. Again, inhale, pressing into that finger with the breath. Exhale, bottom to top. Good, let's flip over and do it on the other side. And just know, you might not feel a lot of rib expansion at the beginning. It takes practice. And also know that one side is probably going to be tighter than the other. It's totally fine. All right. Hands to the rib cage. Inhale, expanding into the hand, front, side, and back. Exhale from the bottom to the top. Again, inhale. Exhale. Now, see if you can really relax the core and the pelvic floor on the inhale. You may even feel some pressure on the pelvic floor, which could be scary, but it's safe here. You're not in a compromised position, so let it happen. Exhale from that pelvic floor up to the top. And then again, bring those hands, fingers under the rib cage. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, feeling the breath push into those fingers. Exhale. Okay. So that's it for the practice. Now I'm going to give you a 5-minute breath practice that you can work on every day. And this is going to do such wonders for coordinating the breath with the core and the pelvic floor. But just know it can take a lot of time to get that expansion. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some time to practice it and let it be messy. All right, let me know if you have questions. Thanks so much.